Him King Senna will follow L-Dex, and Black Jaguar's working hard to catch the field. 30.9 first quarter of the mile, and Little Rufus stakes a claim. Little Rufus whizzes around the outside and hits the lead with 900 left to run. Crossed onto the fence and led by 2 to Fairburn and 2 to Albert Henry on the outside of Roustabout. A length and a half to Old Tarbox. I'm a Big Noise 3 deep. Franco Adam on the rail. Majestic Nero starting to slice through in the centre. Then L-Dex. Desdicado is second last from King Senna, and Black Jaguar a long and distant last again. 31.8 second quarter of the mile. Little Rufus in front past the 600. Albert Henry's under pressure to run to second. Old Tarbox 3 deep and starting to sprint. Fairburn's on the fence. I'm a Big Noise 4 wide. L-Dex 5 wide at the 400. Then King Senna, Majestic Nero, Franco Adam, Roustabout and Desdicado. Little Rufus clear in the middle of the circle. 300 to run. Little Rufus 2 lengths in front. Old Tarbox got to second. Fairburn third. King Senna's running on, but he's giving them 6 lengths at the top of the lane. Little Rufus led for home. Old Tarbox is flat. Then Fairburn. King Senna battling away, but Little Rufus is in front. Little Rufus drawing away from Fairburn, Old Tarbox and King Senna, and Little Rufus wins. Little Rufus beat Fairburn. Old Tarbox third. King Senna a big run for fourth. Then Roustabout, Desdicado, Franco Adam, Albert Henry, I'm a Big Noise, L-Dex, Majestic Nero, and Black Jaguar, Stone Motherless.
4 and 5 at Albion Park on race number 3, 13-4.
The light goes on. November Earl was the last one locked in. They're set to go. It has the 6. Racing, November Earl's come out fairly and is trying to drive through. Best Over Star Treasure crossed in front and leads November Earl, and Verdante Lass on the inside. A couple Lender Worth travelling. White First v Leica. Then Rita's World and Sinbin down the back. Star Treasure the leader. November Earl is giving chase and forward to Verdante Lass, followed by White First. Very Wide Worth travelling a break to Sinbin and Rita's World. November Earl has got along the fence to join Star Treasure and go to the lead. The favourite November Earl draws away from Star Treasure. Running on Verdante Lass, but November Earl too good. November Earl wins at 2 lengths. Maybe Verdante Lass second from Star Treasure. Right behind those Rita's World, White First, Sinbin, Worth Travelling and V Leica. Stand by for the placings on the second event of the night. And of course, great win to November Earl, and of course
faltered there and has fallen back on another zap, so we will have a false start. It is a false start. I would imagine Expressionist is the reason. So we will have a... Expressionist is back a little bit this time, but at least pacing, and it is a start. Now, Kimbray began okay, so too did Marsada. Expressionist actually is still there on the inside, but it will get headed. And eventually Marsada goes to the front. Kimbray also got across Expressionist. Dial-A-Buck left without cover in the early stages, and New Murdoch from the wide draw lands 1-1. Behind it, the Cruise Control, and he takes off on the Cruise Control. They're followed then by Pancho's Ace. Another zap ends up 4 back on the rails. Then 4 metres to Greek Street. And last to settle is Butcher's Hook. They come into the straight this time with just over 2 to run, and Marsada led. The Cruise Control moves up on the outside, so now Dial-A-Buck's got the 1-1 trail. On the rails, Kimbray behind the leader. Following it, Expressionist, then 2 metres away to New Murdoch. Next on the inside, another zap covering at Pancho's Ace. Well back Greek Street, and back on the inside of it was Butcher's Hook. Lead time 46.8 as they make their way towards the back, and now Greek Street takes off 3 deep. Where the leader is Marsada. The Cruise Control second. Here's Greek Street around the field. Kimbray in behind the leader, and then Dial-A-Buck. Now the Cruise Control, he'll grab hold on it, so Greek Street will get around. Expressionist on the rails midfield. On the outside then New Murdoch, 4 metres Pancho's Ace, covering up another zap, and 8 metres now to Butcher's Hook. Off the back, and Greek Street applies a little pressure to the leader. Marsada the inside, Greek Street the outside. They're 5 metres in front of Kimbray getting the run of the race. 1 by 1 now the Cruise Control, but it worked early. Dial-A-Buck still fairly handy to them. Expressionist on the rails. Then 4 metres away New Murdoch following Dial-A-Buck. Another zap awkwardly positioned. The first quarter was 31 seconds, and well back then into Pancho's Ace and Butcher's Hook, a lap out. And on the outside, Greek Street's fired up. It wants to go quicker, and it's actually got 2 or 3 metres now on Marsada. It's off the bit on the rails. Further back then to the Cruise Control as Greek Street goes for home now, or goes to the front anyway. Just given a little bit more rain. Dialer Buck works into the race perfectly. Second quarter 30.7. Marsada drops out of it, and it's taking Kimbray back through the field. New Murdoch going past it, then Pancho's Ace, Butcher's Hook, Expressionist also taken right back through the field, and another zap back to the tail. Greek Street, he's still got a big hold on it. It led by a metre. In second placing though now the Cruise Control moves up to draw level. Dialer Buck now comes out 3 wide and the sprint's on. Pulling 4 wide then New Murdoch. Halfway around the turn he gets busy on Greek Street. Third quarter was 30.3 and he is responding Greek Street. Dialer Buck out 3 wide. The Cruise Control the centre. New Murdoch struggling as the leader sprint right up into the straight. Greek Street just led. Dialer Buck the outside. The Cruise Control the centre. Greek Street, Dialer Buck the outside. He won't give in, Greek Street. Dialer Buck can't get him. Big win. Greek Street, he just kept on fighting. He won a neck. Second placing Dialer Buck. Just fighting near the post, the Cruise Control. Butcher's Hook ran on well. Then New Murdoch Expressionist. Further back, Pancho's Ace. Kimbray a little unlucky. Another zap finish well back, and Marsada has gone poorly and has actually only just trotted over the line.
Okay, 9-4-10 there. Very, very gutsy performance. Greek Street to get home. Now all set Penrith. Here's Rod.
Thank you, Nick. The 4th event, and they're moving forward well. Big Bad Bernice completes the line. Toad favourite 320 is 2 Mr. Fabulous. 390 for number 8, Big Bad Bernice. Set to go. Ready, race 4. They're racing, beginning one on the outside. Big Bad Bernice joined by Mr. Fabulous. The fence, they go together. Third a length away, World Chariot, followed by Elodius, and 2 further back to Claver King, Pacific Ode. Back towards the rear of the field was Big Shot with Matthews Mate. Down the back and Mr. Fabulous spears away, is out by 2. Elodius second, third Claver King, 3 further back to Big Shot from Big Bad Bernice, who lost its posse. 2 to World Chariot, followed second last by Pacific Ode, and last of all Matthews Mate. To the home turn, Mr. Fabulous, a half in front, collared by Claver King, who drove straight to the front. It's it. Claver King a mile too good, raced away to win well. Claver King by 3, Mr. Fabulous second, Elodius third, followed by Big Shot, Matthews Mate, World Chariot with Big Bad Bernice and Pacific Ode.
Righto, 5 the winner there, which was Claver King, and we'll check the minors for you in a moment, possibly 2.
In Blue Sage as usual, she walked out, she dropped out the last, away quickly Part of Glory as usual, showing plenty of early toe, tries to head off Con Eden early and does. Bottler on the outside gets to third, 3 wide for Colburn Breeze, 4 metres away Relax Me Baby, 5th out of the straight, followed by Carawina Return on the outside of Jickwire. 4 metres to Charlie Cool. On its inside is TC Red, followed by Sir Sheffield, and Blue Sage is some 12 metres away last. 35 metres had cover the field out of the straight, and Con Eden angles one off the fence. He draws up on the outside to tackle Part of Glory at the lap and a half mark, but can't cross. 10 metres away third is Colburn Breeze on the outside of Bottler. 5th and 8 metres away Relax Me Baby. 2 metres to Jickwire. 2 metres away Carawina Return, followed by Charlie Cool on the outside of TC Red. Second last is Sir Sheffield, and Blue Sage is some 8 metres away. Part of Glory on the inside having little peace. He's being tested by Con Eden inside the lap and a quarter. At the 1100 they're still 6 metres in front of Colburn Breeze on the outside of Bottler. Then Relax Me Baby travelling up 3 back on the outside of Jickwire, the rail being tapped up. On its outside is Carawina Return. Then TC Red followed by Charlie Cool. He's third last, trailed up by Sir Sheffield, and Blue Sage tacks up some 4 metres away. At the 850 out of the straight, still 25 to 30 metres had cover the field, and Blue Sage now pulls to the outside 3 wide. Towards the 750 they race. Part of Glory, he leads still by a metre to Con Eden. They've both worked. 4 metres away Bottler. He's had a nice run the rail, followed by on the outside for Colburn Breeze. Then Relax Me Baby. Pulling out now Charlie Cool out 3 wide around Carawina Return. Then Jickwire. Third last TC Red. Blue Sage is second last. She's peeling out 4 wide, and 1 off the rail is Sir Sheffield. Towards the 450 they race. Con Eden's not going well. It's Part of Glory 4 metres in front. Bottler needs a run. Pull to the outside Relax Me Baby. Then for Colburn Breeze, Carawina Return getting out from Charlie Cool. Blue Sage is a long way back, followed by Jickwire, then Sir Sheffield and TC Red. At the 200 Part of Glory in front. Bottler's come off the rail in plenty of time to tackle Part of Glory. Glory, then Relax Me Baby. Blue Sage can't win. At the 120, Bottler on the outside got to Part of Glory. Bottler got the upper hand from Part of Glory. Down the outside, Carolina Return making ground, but Bottler is too good. Nicely driven, and Bottler wins by 2 metres. Relax Me Baby. Close up third, Carolina Return with TC Red Jikwa. Out wide, Charlie Cool. Then Part of Glory, Sir Sheffield Con Eden. Blue Sage has run second last, and last in for Colburn Breeze.
Right, 3, 4 and 10 there. 3, 4 and 10 on race number 2 at Moonee Valley. Bottler over Relax Me Baby and number 10, Carolina. In peak now for race number 3, the Mobile Bly Park Stake.
Thank you, Nick. Yes, good open betting race here. Stop the Show and Little Girl Ash are equal favourites at around 11 to 4. Set to go. Racing, Stop the Show, missed it. Best out was Haydelin. Went straight to the lead early from Little Girl Ash, and Royal Creation showing speed in search of the lead. Springdale Daisy right up behind them on the fence was Stop the Show, followed by Foggabolla. And dropping out next to last, Joanne's Bid, and Hammer Haynes is last. Down the back, though, Haydelin is in front, leads by 2 lengths. Now giving chase, Royal Creation. Stop the Show is third, a couple, then Little Girl Ash. But Haydelin has dashed right away on the home corner, and Haydelin's going to win this easily. Joanne's Bid goes to second. Haydelin beating Joanne's Bid. Third, Stop the Show. Then Foggabolla and Little Girl Ash, with a break in the field of Springdale Daisy, Royal Creation and Hammer Haynes.
Well, the winner there.
Blue light flashing there, racing. Takara James and Hidden Gold won the start from Gay Oscar, followed by the 8 ball. Sir Christopher began well. Mr. G.A. going for a run between runners. Going with it would be Mr. White. Back in the field too, Nimble Jack, and Rainer Bray dropped out the last. Making the run around the corner the first time, and Gay Oscar has got to the lead and showing out about 3 parts of a length to Takara James. Third, the rail, Mr. White from Hidden Gold. In behind them, the 8 ball, followed then by Cloudy Century, Mr. G.A. Sir Christopher. Second last was Rainer Bray, and Nimble Jack was trailing. Down to the judge, they travel with 2 to go, and Gay Oscar by 3 parts of a length to Takara James in third berth. Mr. White followed then by Hidden Gold. On the rail was the 8 ball. Over on the outside of it now would be a Cloudy Century. They were followed by Sir Christopher, Mr. G.A. and the last pair were Rainer Bray and Nimble Jack. Down the back they travel, and Gay Oscar bowling along showed the way a neck to the good off Takara James. Mr. White third on the inside of Hidden Gold. Next the 8 ball, followed by Cloudy Century. Sir Christopher was down on the inside of Mr. G.A. They were followed by Rainer Bray, and Nimble Jack brought up the rear, short of 1100 to travel as they make the run to the corner, a lap and a quarter out, and matching strides in front. Gay Oscar and Takara James, followed then by Hidden Gold and Mr. White together. In behind those, Cloudy Century. Down on the rail, the 8 ball, followed by Mr. G.A. Sir Christopher, Nimble Jack, and Rainer Bray was trailing. Down to the judge they travel, the bell lap coming up this time, and with the inside running, the leader still was Gay Oscar, about a neck to the good off Takara James, followed then by Mr. White, Hidden Gold. Nimble Jack unwinding a big run from the tail of the fielders, trapped 3 deep. In the centre of it was Cloudy Century with the 8 ball. They were followed then by Sir Christopher, Mr. G.A. and still last of all Rainer Bray. On the side, 500 left to go, and Gay Oscar was the leader, and going and doing it about a half a length to the good now of Nimble Jack. Mr. White, one unwinding a run right up around the outside of them. Next in the event at this stage was Hidden Gold. They were followed then by the 8 ball. Back in the field now to Mr. G.A. and Sir Christopher last of all at the corner. 300 left to travel, and the leader Gay Oscar. Rainer Bray now going out after it, followed then by Mr. White. Nimble Jack has gone, the 8 ball looming up along the rail. They were followed then by Mr. G.A. and last of the main division Sir Christopher, but in the straight Gay Oscar clear. Mr. White trying to get to it. Further out still was Rainer Bray. Gay Oscar in front down near the wire, but Mr. White done the better and beat Gay Oscar. Third was the 8 ball, followed by Rainer Bray, Sir Christopher. Next in Mr. G.A. Cloudy Century, Hidden Gold, and the last pair home Takara James and Nimble Jack.
Lights on. Racing. Nicaren dropped back and Allegro Queen was pushed back when the starters said go. Making Time sizzled out of the gate and went straight to the lead. Lucky by Abel second. Flying Legend third, and then Fine Time. Followed by Remember Rhodey and Miss Jewel. Chitane wide into the first turn. Allegro Queen goes up on the rail. Vance Rain is second last, and Nicaren's 2 lengths away at the rear. Making Time the leader past the 1800 metres peg. Flying Legend second. Lucky by Abel for third, being restrained. He was looking for a hole for Lucky by Abel. There wasn't one as Allegro Queen went up on the rail, and Fine Times 3 deep and starting to rush. Remember Odie midfield, 2 to Miss Jewel on the outside of Chitane. A length and a half to Vance Rain and 2.5 to Nicaren at the rear. They went through the first 536.3, and Making Time is the pilot. 1400 to run. Making Time a length and a half to Fine Time in the breeze. Flying Legend on the fence, and now Lucky by Abel leaves the running lane and switches into the death. Remember Odie 3 deep going forward. Shadane on the fence on the inside of Allegro Queen. Miss Jewel the favourite third last. Vance Rain second last, and Nicaren is tail end Charlie as they work down the straight for the bell. 31.1 first split of the mile. Making Time shows the way. The mare Remember Odie works to the death. A length away Flying Legend, and Lucky by Abel's fourth on the back of Remember Odie. Chitane buried on the rail on the inside of Fine Time, then Allegro Queen. Miss Jewel 3 deep. Vance Rain on her back, and Nicaren's 4 wide at the rear. Making Time's been in front every step of the way, and with 800 to run leads by 3/4 to Remember Odie, now closing the gap. Flying Legend on the back of the leader. Lucky by Abel waiting to peel. Chitane with nowhere to go. Fine Time's in traffic. No, he's off 3 deep, but Miss Jewel and Nicaren went around him. Allegro Queen poked up in the centre. Vance Rain last. Fine Time checked and galloped. 32.5 second section. Remember Odie put a nut in front. 450 to run. Making Time with the fence fights back. Nicaren looms up 3 wide. Lucky by Abel between them looking for the way through. Flying Legend trying to get off the fence, and then Miss Jewel. Remember Odie in front at the top of the straight. Nicaren a half length away. Making Time flat. Flying Legend and Lucky by Abel can't get clear. Miss Jewel on the outside. Remember Odie led. Nicaren went after her, and now Miss Jewel's whizzing. Remember Odie, Nicaren, Miss Jewel. Miss Jewel coming at Remember Odie, grabbed one. Miss Jewel's beaten Remember Odie, Nicaren third. Then Lucky by Abel, Allegro Queen, Chitane, followed by Flying Legend, Vance Rain, and Making Time was last of all. 2:39.
Ready? They're racing. Spearing out was Militia, with on the outside Charlene Bale, Plum Roland. Out wide was Carmen Sandiego, and Call Me Casey hung up. Militia gets away, but now working to second well was Call Me Casey. 2.5 third Carmen Sandiego, followed by Plum Roll. 5 Janie's Rain from Charlene Bale. A further 5 to For Me Mum, and 3 last of all Pam's Whisper. At the top to Militia, 2 lengths in front. Call Me Casey to second. 2.5 third Carmen Sandiego, followed by Plum Roll. They turn. Militia in front. Call Me Casey the fence, but Militia pulling out plenty. Militia for the money. Militia wins from second. Call Me Casey. Third was Carmen Sandiego, followed by Plum Roll from Carlene Bale, Janie's Rain, For Me Mum, and Pam's Whisper back at the tail.
187, race 5 at Penrith, 1, 8 and 7. The placings there after race 5, the Lawson Stake. Now, Maitland Dividends, the winner there was number...
Or galloping on the second row, Red Skelton, but it didn't interfere with anything, and it is a start. Chip Miller began quickly. King Meadow and Willie Cracker both going quickly. Got a bit tight there for a stride or two. Chip Miller gets to the rails. King Meadow very keen to get across her, and will do so. King Meadow gets across the favourite Chip Miller around the first turn. Timely Treasure on the inside. Willie Cracker's in the centre. Here's one coming around them in the early stages. Le Papillon Prince is out 3 deep. Chip Miller comes off the rails in front of it. Then Centennial Way. Further back in the field to Wheeler Jim. On the outside, Beware the Shadows. Been hard up front in the early stages. They are followed then by second last at this point in time was London Mac. In fact, second last of the main group. On its outside, Johnny Idle and Red Skelton 50 metres away. The Papillon Prince couldn't get around out 3 wide. The leader, King Meadow, they have steadied to some extent up front. King Meadow is about a head clear of Chip Miller. On the outside, 3 deep. Le Papillon Prince is stuck there. That first quarter, 29.5, and now Chip Miller, after they did ease, takes on the leader and goes to the lead. So this has been a keenly contested affair. Chip Miller now in front. Willie Cracker's been enjoying a pretty good run and now kicks through in the centre and still keeps Le Papillon Prince 3 deep. On the inside, King Meadow now. Beware the Shadows pushed out 4 wide going out of the straight as Timely Treasure came off inside of Centennial Way. Wheeler Jim on the rails. Johnny Idle pulling wide. And then further back in the field, London Mac for getting Red Skelton. They slowed up to 31 for the second quarter as they go into the the back. Chip Miller, she hasn't had an easy run, but she's still 3 metres clear of Willie Cracker. Now 3 deep, Timely Treasure. Still behind them, then King Meadow. Out wider, Beware the Shadow, but it's under pressure from Centennial Way. Johnny Idle pulls deep, and then Wheeler Jim coming off the back. Chip Miller goes for home. Timely Treasure's the danger coming out of the pack. Willie Cracker behind them, and then about 8 metres away, Johnny Idle around the outer. On the turn, 200 out, Chip Miller went the third quarter in 30.4. Timely Treasure's had the good trail, and it throws down the gauntlet. They've cleared away from Willie Cracker, then Johnny Idle in the straight. Chip Miller in front. Timely Treasure gradually getting her. Chip Miller hanging on. Timely Treasure grabbing her on the outside though, and he'll make it 2 in a row. Timely Treasure wins the neck. Chip Miller a big run. Johnny Idle got home late and is only 4 metres away. Then King Meadow, Wheeler Jim, Centennial Way, Willie Cracker tired. They're followed in by London Mac, Beware the Shadow, Le Papillon Prince had a tough run, and Red Skelton last in. Oh, keenly contested affair, good race. The favourite has gone down, but Timely Treasure, after having the nice suck along throughout, has made it 2 on in, running home too strongly for Chip Miller.
Racing, Farmer Wilson's away fairly well in the centre, winning the start, Avondale. Farmer got to the lead though. Farmer Wilson drove to the lead at the first corner from Avondale, Lobby Webster. A couple solitary pursuit, Aztec Bale, Gaze Fancy and Seattle Sam. Farmer Wilson goes down the back 3 in front from Lobby Webster. In third position, Avondale. Seattle Sam making ground, and then a break off to Aztec Bale and Gaze Fancy. Farmer Wilson leads the way on the home corner, 2.5. Lobby Webster giving chase and wearing it down, but the Farmer's too good, and Farmer Wilson continues on his winning way. Farmer Wilson wins from Lobby Webster. Seattle Sam maybe third from Aztec Bale, and then came a break to Gaze Fancy, and Avondale was one of the last with solitary pursuit. Number 2, Farmer Wilson is the winner.
Racing good start. Admiral Holiday shows early speed with Son of a Guess. So too does Rhetoric, and from the outside its Motor Power is mustering speed. At the judge in the first round, Admiral Holiday worked to the lead. From on the outside its Motor Power. Lord Muckley is 4 out. 3 out there was Son of a Guess. Rhetoric in the centre, Kate's Comet the rail as its Motor Power continues to tackle Admiral Holiday for the lead and succeeds. Franco Tiger, he settles down about 7th, he's 4 metres away. Then All Meter Boy, Pappy McCoy, Son of a Guest, and Huey Bray. Along the back straight, the leader, its Motor Power by 5 metres. Travelling up on the outside, Lord Muckley second, Admiral Holiday third. Rhetoric has the cover now, 4th on his insiders, Kate's Comet. Then Franco Tiger, he travels up to be 3 back on the outside early, 2 metres to Pappy McCoy, he's 4 back on the rail. Then All Meter Boy, second last is Huey Bray, and 8 metres away, Son of a Guest, travelling down the side, and from third last now, All Meter Boy pulls to the outside, 3 wide. At the 1100 metres, the leader, it's Motor Power, he steadies by 4 metres to Lord Muckley. All Meter Boy starting a zip around the outside, 3 wide. Admiral Holiday the fence, 2 metres to Rhetoric, followed by Kate's Comet, then Franco Tiger. Pappy McCoy is third last, followed by Huey Bray, and 12 metres away, Son of a Guest. At the 900, it's Motor Power, he leads All Meter Boy by a neck. 4 metres away, third is Lord Muckley. 5th on the outside is Rhetoric. The leader's back, Admiral Holiday. Then Kate's Comet the rail. Franco Tiger, he's enjoyed a pretty good run. He's 4 back on the outside, 15 metres off the lead, followed by Pappy McCoy, his inside. Then Huey Bray, and Son of a Guest is tacking up inside the 600 down the back, and Franco Tiger, he now lets loose from 4th last. Towards the 450 they race. It's Motor Power, leads All Meter Boy by a metre. 5 metres away, Lord Muckley, third on the outside of Admiral Holiday. Then Franco Tiger steadily making ground around Rhetoric, followed by Kate's Comet. Pappy McCoy comes off the rail from Huey Bray and Son of a Guest. On the home turn of the 220, this leader's giving plenty of cheek. It's Motor Power. He's still 2 metres in front of All Meter Boy. Lord Muckley pulls to the outside from Franco Tiger, then Pappy McCoy. At the 150, it's Motor Power, still 2 metres in front of All Meter Boy, who can't pick him up. Lord Muckley running home, then Franco Tiger. It's Motor Power walking. Lord Muckley has got him. Franco Tiger is late, but Lord Muckley is in front, and Lord Muckley wins by a metre. Maybe Franco Tiger second, a nose to its Motor Power third. Pappy McCoy ran home. All Meter Boy close up. Then Admiral Holiday, Rhetoric, Huey Bray, Kate's Comet, and last in was Son of a Guest.
For the 6th event, set. They're racing off. Flying Out was Unreliable Miss, bounced 3 lengths in front of Gunler Rusty. Commander Bale closing, followed by Boulder Claim the outside from Thunderdan. The fence, She Winks, Miss Zambia and Star Cash. To the back straight, Gunler Rusty raced away, 3 lengths in front. Second, Unreliable Miss in reverse. A length and a half now. Thunderdan moves up on the outside. Commander Bale deep on the track. 2 further back to Star Cash, followed by Boulder Claim and She Winks. At a long last was Miss Zambia. To the home turn goes Gunler Rusty. 2 lengths in front, scouting wide. Thunderdan finishing on, but Gunler Rusty in front, too strong. And Gunler Rusty beat Thunderdan. Third was Commander Bale, followed by Unreliable Miss and Star Cash from She Wings. Second last was Boulder Claim, and last of all was Miss Zambia.
Right, 3-2.
Flashing, they're off and running, and Twangy was one of the smartest. Our by G Stormy Rovers put in the bad ones and dropped the last. Make the run down towards the corner the first time, and Kyalis and Twangy matching strides out in front. They were followed then by Perestroika. On the outside of it was Melted. Down on the rail, LJ Fella in advance of Karela Bell, a long way back to Minivan Stormy Rover. And so will he, brought up the rear. They cast the home turn astern and make the run down to the judge, where they'll have 1,400 to run. And the leader was Twangy, about a 2 lengths to the good of LJ Fella. Kyalis was in third berth. In behind it, Perestroika, the rail Minivan, followed by Karela Bell, Melted. Stormy Rover second last, and so will he, brought up the rear. Make the run over towards the 600, and Twangy showed the way by a length to LJ Fella. Kyalis was running third in the event. Minivan fourth, the rail in advance of Perestroika, followed then by Melted. In behind those, Karela Bell and the last pair, Stormy Rover, and so will he. Down the back they travel. No change in the order, where Twangy's allowed to bowl along out in front, a length and a half to the good. Of in second berth was LJ Fella. They were being followed up on the outside by Kyalis. Under a strong hole on the rail with nowhere to go. Minivan being passed now by Perestroika. In behind them, Karela Bell, Melted. So will he, was second last, and Stormy Rover brought up the rear. Short of a lap and a quarter to travel as they're about to cast a home turn astern and swing into the straight for what'll be the bell. And Twangy was first to swing and showed out about a length to the good. Of up on the outside of it now would be Kyalis over on the rail. At this stage, LJ Fella, followed by Perestroika, Minivan, Karela Bell. In behind those, Melted from So Will He, and Stormy Rover was last of all. 600 left to travel, and still the leader was Twangy. He's been there from the outset, and well driven in front by Proctor was 3 parts of a length to Kyalis. In third berth, LJ Fella. Next was Perestroika with the run of the race, followed then by Minivan, Karela Bell. Melted was down on the inside of So Will He, and still Stormy Rover was last. 400 out as they make the run to the corner, and Twangy is joined in front now by Perestroika. They were followed by Minivan, unwinding a run. Out further still Karela Bell, LJ Fella, the rail, and in behind those Kyalis, but around the corner, and the leader still was Twangy. Perestroika trying hard to get to it. Minivan and Karela Bell putting in their claims in the straight. Twangy was clear. It's Twangy, Perestroika, Minivan and Karela Bell to fight it out. Proctor getting everything out of Twangy, and Perestroika's not going to pick it up. Twangy won the money, Perestroika second, Karela Bell or Minivan next. They were followed by LJ Fella, Stormy Rover, So Will He. Melted and Kyalis was the last one home. Well, get them officials.
Lights on. Arms fold, racing a galloper. Pleasant Fury bubbled and galloped back to the tail of the field. Bavarian Band and Caesar Blue came out quickly. Paragon Pete third, From the Clouds fourth, and Dreamy Guy 3 wide into the first band. Then Merchant Joe, Sammy Bye Bye, and further back was Moville. Duke Star Council's last of the main group, and Pleasant Fury after that hiccup has dropped back 150 metres behind the main bulk of the field. He may chase them, he may not. They run past the tea trees, and Bavarian Band the leader. A half in front of Dreamy Guy, Caesar Blue third behind the Speed, and From the Clouds fourth and sweet seating. One to Paragon Pete on the inside of Merchant Joe, a length and a half to Sammy Bye Bye. Then Moville Duke, a length and a half to Star Council, and Pleasant Fury said, "Not tonight, brother," and he's been retired. 36.2, first 500 metres, and it's Bavarian Band showing the way. 1,300 to run. Bavarian Band leads by a neck to Dreamy Guy. Caesar Blue third, locked up behind the leader. From the Clouds fourth, enjoying the run of the race. Merchant Joe 3 back in the running lane. Paragon Pete on the rail. Merchant Joe heard Star Council coming. He's 3 deep, and Star Council goes up behind him 3 wide, but Merchant Joe sprinted away from the favourite. Sammy Bye Bye second last, and Moville Duke at the rear. 32.7, first split of the mile. Bavarian Band on top. top after the red lights and the bell. Leads by more than a length to Merchant Joe, who went to the death. Caesar Blue third. Dreamy Guy fourth around Paragon Pete and Star Council 3 deep and working now. Sammy Bye Bye latched onto the back of Star Council from the clouds, got shuffled back to second last, and Movil Duke's a length away in a packed up field. 31 second section. Bavarian Band's under pressure at the 650, led by a neck over Merchant Joe, working to close the gap. Caesar Blue third. Star Council fourth, now tucked in behind Merchant Joe. Sammy Bye Bye in the Boondocks around Dreamy Guy, then Paragon Pete from the clouds and Movil Duke. Merchant Joe joined Bavarian Band. They're eyeballing 300 to run. 2 away, Star Council waiting to peel and sprint them. Caesar Blue needs an out. Then Sammy Bye Bye, Bavarian Band and Merchant Joe at the top of the lane. Merchant Joe and Bavarian Band. Star Council comes to the outside, but I think the tank's empty. It is. It's good night for him. Merchant Joe hit the lead from Bavarian Band. Caesar Blue runs to third, but it's Joe. Merchant Joe strides away.